Look at y'all. All right, Gigi, Sarah, Nika, Sharuti. Oh, that's a pretty name. Naomi, Katie, Shelby, Eric, Rebecca, welcome again. All right, so let's get into these tactical steps, y'all. All right, I have to make sure I'm staying on time. We have about 40 minutes, so I'm just gonna warn you, okay? This training is normally 90 minutes. I have 40 minutes, okay? So I'm going to talk kind of fast and then I'm gonna pause and check in on y'all to make sure I didn't lose nobody, lost in translation, okay? But I'm warning you that I'm gonna go fast in this training a little bit, okay? But I promise you, I have some resources. I'm gonna share my one-on-one, a link so y'all can schedule one-on-one with me. This deck will be shared with y'all. Y'all will have time to process what you learned today after the training. Can we agree with that? I'm going fast though, okay? All right, let me share my screen real quick, and then let's get into these tactical steps with how you guys can start a traditional lunch pad. I'm sorry, a traditional giving circle. Let's start with some examples. Y'all have heard a lot before we get into the tactical pieces. Let's get inspired by some real giving circles that actually exist, starting with mine. This is me and my sisters, or founding members of Heritage Giving Fund. It's my girls. We started Heritage in 2017 during Black Philanthropy Month out of a need. I'm in Dallas. Dallas is a very philanthropic city, but it is very divided, very divided. All the Black and brown people of color live south, majority, and a lot of the wealthy, affluent white people live up north. Unfortunately, that's also our city is divided on those racial lines, but also that's how money has flowed in the philanthropic space. So in 2017, a lot of us, I was a fundraiser. I'm a recovering burnt out fundraiser, but I was a fundraiser at the time, and a lot of me and my sisters were, and we were just having conversations like, why we don't ever have donors of color? Are y'all what right? We just start saying some things. And so my best friend in a white shirt, her name is Akila Wallace. She started Heritage in 2017 to fulfill unmet needs from organizations that were led by Black women, grassroots, small organizations with budgets less than $1 million, um, for organizations that were led by a Black woman, majority led, and that served women and girls in North Texas. And so that's our origin story of how we got started. Since then, we've supported over 16 very small grassroots organizations, and that's our legacy. Heritage is what you would call identity-based giving circle. So I'm going to go through some examples. Identity-based because we're a group of Black women, right? That's what we identify as. There's many giving circles like that. Flashlight Collective is a profession-based giving circle. You have a lot of those giving circles. Flashlight Collective, they are a group of retired, current investigative journalists. And they decided that, hey, we want to provide grants to individuals to buy equipment for travel, for sabbaticals, all of that good stuff. So the Flashlight Collective is what they call a profession-based giving circle. They're supporting their profession and individuals and organizations that's in that space. I love them. Did y'all know Ida B. Wells was an investigative journalist? Just throwing that out there. Mama Bears. I love Liz Dyer. She started Mama Bears on Facebook. This is what we call an affinity-based giving circle. They are a group of mamas that do what mamas do. They were trying to support their youth, their kids who identified as LGBTQ. So started off just sharing resources on Facebook, grew the group to over like 4,000. And of course, mamas being mamas said, well, we want to do more. And so they started a giving circle, and now they support nationally. They meet virtually. They're a national giving circle, affinity based that supports organizations that serve LGBTQ plus youth. A lot of next gen popping up, emerging philanthropist groups. They're everywhere. And by the way, y'all, there's over 4,000, as Eliasa said in that research, there's over 4,000 plus giving circles. So this is just, I mean, such a small number. I'm only able to highlight like a few. But this next gen giving circles, emerging leaders, a lot of them are popping up. Youth led giving circles, all of that. You also have giving circles that are hosted by community foundations. A lot of giving circles are hosted by community foundations, like the Latino Community Foundation. They have this really cool economic driven type giving circle called the Los Angeles Latino Giving Circle. They focus on economic prosperity for the Latina community based in California, and they are hosted by a community foundation, which I'll get into that a little bit more. You have religious-based giving circles. This is the American Muslim Community Foundation Women's Giving Circle. And so you have religious giving circle. Men, go get the guys. 80% of giving circles are led by women. We need more guys in the movement, but they do exist. This is my brothers. They're REAP. They're based out of Phoenix. I love them. They do mentorship and really a whole bunch of things to pour into our young men that really need our help and to help them to engage more philanthropically in their community. Shout out to REAP. There's corporate giving circles, virtual giving circles, all kinds of giving circles, and all type of ways and how we can focus and frame our giving circles. However, I'm going to give you two routes of ways and how you can start your traditional giving circle. One way is that you can start a pop-up giving circle. If you want to taste something, you take a little bite to see if you like it. You don't want the whole thing. A pop-up giving circle is that. You literally can start like a one-time giving circle, y'all. So this is for those of you who are like, I want to try something right now. I need some money right now. I want to host an event to bring people together, pool resources. You can do a pop-up. It's a one-time event, usually in a 90-minute, 2-hour experiences where you go through the whole model of a giving circle. Which is this. This is a framing of kind of what it can look like. A sample. This is a 75-minute agenda, but you can go all the way up to like 2 hours if you wanted to. But essentially, the group gathers in person. They identify their values. They decide on a focus area. They pull. They make a donation right then and there. They decide on the organizations to get to. Now, there's some pre-vetting and pre-work that's required, but at the end of the day, money is being moved, community, all the whole 4P steps that I went through earlier is done within a 2-hour, 75-minute to 2-hour time frame. So I'm just throwing that out as a pop-up giving circle, as a resource, as an opportunity for y'all that are just like, I'm not ready to do the whole gambit of starting a giving circle. Maybe this is a better model for you. However, for our time today, y'all, we're going to focus on the traditional long-term giving circle. That's this. I told y'all it was two avenues, right? Pop-up or long-term giving circle. For a long-term giving circle, these are the steps. I'm going to sit here just in case you want to take a picture right now. But again, the slide will be shared. To start a long-term giving circle, you do have to ask 8 core key questions. One of the questions we've already addressed, y'all had already shared in the chat. You see why I asked y'all, why would you like to start a giving circle? Because that's the first step. You got to understand your why. Your why is essentially important to kind of help you to think through what all of the first ideation that goes with starting giving circle starts with your why. But we're going to move forward actually and go straight into what is the focus of your giving circle going to be. I'm actually going to share this resource with y'all right now. Let me see if I have it. Yeah, I do. I'm going to try to drop this in the chat. Y'all can save a copy. This is, where's the chat? OMG. That's the only thing about sharing screen. Y'all stick with me, okay? Where is the chat, y'all? It's in here somewhere. I had it. Oh, here it is. Too many screens open. This is a giving circle canvas. Giving circle canvas. It's for yours to keep. It's my first resource I'm gonna share with y'all. You can make a copy. And essentially, as y'all are thinking about, okay, well, how big and what's the name of my giving circle and what will be my values, what we want to focus on, how much will members contribute? Y'all can start dropping in your ideas here, okay? So start there using that giving circle canvas that I just shared, and that will kind of help you moving forward to answer these core key questions. All right, so let's get into the first one. I talked about the values. Even in that canvas, start thinking about your values. Remember, your values help you to decide what you will stand for. It's the DNA of your giving circle. So if you want to stand up for justice, equality, equity, sustainability, think about that. Determine your values, and it's a place on that canvas that I just shared for y'all to do that. But let's talk about the focus. There's so many different focuses that y'all can focus on for your giving circle. Take a look at this. These last three jelly beans, these last three: issue area, membership, geographic scope. So y'all can focus on a specific issue area. One of y'all, there was in the chat like some folks that said that they wanted to focus on a specific issue area, right? So whether it's like entrepreneurship, or that's an issue area, or medical research for women's health, those are issue areas. Like Katie says, she want to support medical research, right? So Katie, your giving circle will be like an issue area giving circle, right? So your circle can focus on an issue that your membership cares deeply about. It can be hyper specific, it can be broad, right? The choices are endless. Or you could be a membership based focused giving circle, like heritage, right? Or like the next gen that's focused on emerging leaders, or like the religious based giving circle, right? So you can do a membership based giving circle with no specific focus. Heritage, we don't focus on a specific thing. We find a variety of different issues, but for us, it was important that we are a membership-based giving circle. Or you could be a geographic scope giving circle. You have some that are like, no, we're a giving circle that's just based in North Texas, or based in Arkansas, or based in Staten Island, New York, or whatever the case is. Or y'all can intersect these. You do not have to silo yourself. You could be a giving circle that's based in Louisiana. You can be a Christian-based giving circle based in Louisiana that focuses on climate justice. You see that? So you can intersect the issue with the membership and a geographic scope, or silo it. It's up to you. I'm just giving y'all options on what this question right here, what is the focus of your giving circle? All right, so we got the why. We're thinking about the focus. Let's answer these next two questions. How big will your circle be? How big is it going to be? How we want to start? We want to start big. How much were these members going to contribute? How much do we want to level out? Let's talk about that for a second. This is our sweet spot. Here at Philanthropy Together, we're very realistic. We're a very realistic team. So we don't want to throw y'all out and say, hey, yeah, go recruit 99 members. You can if you want to. I mean, yeah, a lot of our networks are very big, but this feels right. 25 members, let's start there. To start a giving circle, we think 25 members, if you can aim at just starting with 25 members, recruit 3 to 5 co-leaders. And I say co-leaders, I mean essentially your founding team. When Heritage got started, we had to have a founding team first. It was Akila, it was Halima, and Dr. Francois Booker Drew. It was 3 of them. They got together to work on that canvas that I shared with y'all. It was them that decided on all of those, that made all those decisions. And then once they said, okay, we want to, our name is going to be Heritage, we want to focus on women and girls, then they went to recruit the other 25 members to join the circle. So I suggest, my number one advice for y'all, do not start this journey alone. Don't do it, Sarah. Don't do it, Rebecca. Please don't do it, y'all. Find your people. 3 to 5 people. And when you think about your 3 to 5 founding members, think deeply. Think about like, okay, who actually has the time, the capacity, the shared passion, right? Who has maybe some skills? If y'all gonna like start online, maybe one of your close friends has a background in marketing. That's super important. That might be very helpful as you're starting out, right? And so think about 3 to 5 members, 3 to 5 co-leaders that can help you to start the giving circle. Once y'all start and fill out that canvas, use that as a resource that I shared earlier, then y'all can kind of work to build a tight-knit community. 25 members really helps y'all to engage deeply. It's not too crazy. Y'all can always scale and get bigger, but let's start with this amount. It's a sweet spot, okay? That's also, we have some, all of this stuff I'm gonna share with y'all, but you do not have to start from scratch. Philanthropy Together, we have language, we have sample agendas, recruitment tactics, email templates. I promise you, we have a full resource library on our website that our team personally created. It's a whole toolkit that has all of this in there. So, but my suggestion with this piece, as you're thinking about, well, how am I find 25 members? There's some tactics that we can share. I'm not going to go through them today, but just know that we can get strategic about this. We'll have some recruitment messaging, but one thing I do want to know, want to share is these little circles down here. Start with who you know well. Think about your friends, your families, your network of acquaintances, professional groups, coworkers. Think big as you are thinking about and some of your other relationships. But our goal is to really get y'all to start 25 people because let's do some numbers. I'm gonna do this math. This should be easy for me. Okay. If you have 25 members that give $20 a month, you'll have a grant of like to give $6,000. This I'm starting to sow seeds on that member contribution. How much? Because how much each member gives dictates the pot, right? How much money we actually have to give out. So whether y'all, and I also want to say that y'all have to think about your members. With Heritage, we're a group of professional Black women. So we are actually in this tiered giving, this $250, $500,000. We provided options for our sisters to decide based off their capacity to give. And then every member still has one vote though. We still push equity in that. Just because you sign up to give $1,500 doesn't mean that you have more voice than a member that has 250. We're equitable. This is about us pulling together. But these are just sample ways. If you give $20 a month, your group can have $6,000 to give. What about $1 a day? That might work for a youth-led giving circle. $1 a day, that feels right. Maybe they can, include that from their allowance or something. $365 annually at 25 members will get you over 9 grand. Maybe y'all want your members to give quarterly. What about $100 per quarter? That feels right. At 25 members, y'all will have about $10,000 to give. We have groups that even give percentages of their income. There are some giving circles that are income specific, like 1% for the Planet Giving Circle. They give 1% of their income. You have groups like Heritage that have tiered giving. That's that 250, 500, 1,500 I was just talking about. $1,000 to give. You even have some groups like Women Moving Millions that give $1 million and they have annual contributions of $5,000, $10,000 annually. Again, this is about the capacity of your members. So as you are thinking about how much will my members give, think about who your members are going to be and where they are in life and like what they are likely to give to or to get or able to give. This is just a resource of like the different ways and how we can kind of go about recruiting, bringing people in. And again, I'm not going to go through this side specifically. We'll share it. But I do want to share this. As we are thinking about our giving circle, y'all, one thing I want to plug in, if you never heard the term trust-based philanthropy, write it down. We hope here at Philanthropy Together that as y'all are thinking about your giving circle, that you will center trust. One of the problematic things, remember those numbers I shared with y'all about the 8% that goes to community colors? A lot of that is because a lot of organization funders gatekeep. Their processes is really hard for the nonprofits to even access the funding. Like they might have very long, drawn out applications or a lot of restrictions for the nonprofit to access their funding. So we're hoping that as y'all are thinking about your giving circle, that you will be a trust-based rooted giving circle, a giving circle that will give multi-year unrestricted funding. Think about it. Could your giving circle give 2 years? That way your grantee partner have 2 years of secured funding from y'all, unrestricted. I know a lot of funders like, oh, I like to fund projects. Give them, especially for grassroots organizations, they need unrestricted funding. Can y'all simplify and streamline your paperwork? Does your grant application think about it? Maybe it could just be 3 or 4 questions. That's it. Does it need to be long and drawn out, 25 questions long, right? So we're hoping that y'all would think about simplifying and streamlining your paperwork, actually looking at your grantee partners as partners, having conversations with them, giving feedback. If y'all didn't fund them, talk to them, tell them why. Encourage them to come back to apply, right? You do the homework as funders. If there's organizations that y'all want to fund, reach out to them. Hey, guys, we're Giving Circle. Our grant application is open. Do that homework. Find the people that you want to fund and be transparent, responsive, and really think about what I talked about, which is offering the beyond the dollar support. Let me check the chat real quick, make sure. Trust-based philanthropy, y'all. All right. And as we are thinking about beyond the dollar, This is what we're talking about when we say the five T's. As you're thinking about your giving circle, think about, yes, how much, our money and our treasure will what we would deploy in the community, but how else can we show up? How else can the group give our time? How can we volunteer? How can we provide our testimony, advocate for them, right? Heritage, our circle, some of our grantees were impacted. Some of our small ones, they were focused on reproductive justice. Well, we're in Texas, and so our advocacy kind of extended on that lens to support them in ways not beyond our grant to advocate to support the work that they were doing to advance and to support reproductive justice, right? Our ties, can y'all make connection? Maybe there's another giving circle, or maybe y'all know about other funders or something like that that y'all can introduce them to, or your talents. Maybe some of your members are very talented and do consulting or something like that that can help a nonprofit with their capacity building. And so I'm gonna pause right there. We answered four of those kind of questions, but let me check the chat. Y'all can come off mute. We got a little time and I can pause and take a little sip of water. But what questions do y'all have so far of what I have covered? What is the go to? Make sure. Do we need to incorporate as a nonprofit? Oh, sorry. I guess some of these chat, is that for our group? Does this really work if people give? Okay, sorry, dumb questions. Why would it be helpful for someone who has a background in marketing? Is it to help recruit members? Great question, Gigi. That's not a dumb question. Um, that is a great question. That goes back to the co-leaders piece. Gigi asked, like, why would it be helpful for somebody to have a background in marketing? Well, think about it. When you first started Giving Circle, y'all gonna have to put the circle out there at some point. That looks like maybe, whether y'all like Liz, she started on Facebook, or y'all gonna have to put some captions and attract people, right? You're gonna have to create some language to how you're gonna reach people. Maybe y'all need to create a little small website, right, for your giving circle or something that such. So that's what I mean by, thinking thoughtfully, Gigi, of like your founding members and like the skills and stuff that they could have to use to help you guys as y'all get the circle out there. Um, what are the normal ways money is collected from the group? Yeah, I'm actually going to, so I can talk about that. I'm going to talk about that later, but I'm going to go ahead and answer your question now. Giving circles have a variety of ways in how they can manage their finances. Okay. Platforms like Grapevine. Grapevine is a platform, it's a digital platform, it's free. You can literally go onto the website right now and start a giving circle, and they are a 501c platform, free to use, and you can start a giving circle. And what they do is they collect your members, give directly on the platform, they keep your funds. And then once y'all go through the decision making, y'all decide on a nonprofit to give to, they send the check. So you can start and manage your resources and your funds on a platform like Grapevine. You can go be hosted by a community foundation, like how we were at Heritage. We were hosted originally by the Texas Women's Foundation. We went to them and said, hey, we have an idea. We want to start a giving circle. They were like, okay, well, sure. And so they were our host for our first 5 years. The benefit of a host organization is that they'll provide, they were able to provide us like some meeting space. They put us in like the newsletter when we launched, like, right? They shared it out with their DAF holders. So there's some baked in benefits of being hosted by a community foundation. So you can use a platform to manage your finances. You can be hosted by a community foundation, or you can be like you can go up under the fiscal sponsorship of someone and like a philanthropic entity like More Philanthropy or Global Impact or something like that, fiscal sponsors. Those are just a few of the ways. Or you can start an actual nonprofit organization yourself and start a giving circle, right? And so those are a few ways. If you're a DAF holder, you can start a giving circle as a DAF holder at a community foundation. There's so many variety of ways, Sarah. Like you said, platform. Thank you for that. All of those are ways in how you can start a giving circle and help manage your funds. Rebecca, and we're considering starting a giving circle. How do you recommend taking a fee to pay? Yeah, let me talk to you offline with that, Rebecca, for sure, because every foundation is different, y'all. They do charge like a service fee, a percentage base. Some of them charge as less than like Mississippi foundations. They're small, right? And so some of them charge like 2%, but then maybe for the bigger ones, they charge upwards to 10%. So that's a deeper question, Rebecca, as I'm thinking about, y'all, I would have to, let's talk a little bit more about your foundation a little bit and what y'all can, social good charge. See, exactly. Katie says social good charges 8. So everybody charges different, y'all. But I can say Grapevine is free. That's why we plug them in. Grapevine is a free platform. All right. Y'all have great questions. Okay, well, let's get into, let me check time check, time check. All right, good. We're rolling. All right, let's talk about how will your giving circle meet and give, and then how will y'all find these organizations that you'll give to? Um, well, how often will the giving circle meet and give? Um, let's just start with one giving round, meaning, and again, sweet spot, 25 members. If y'all just starting off, we suggest that y'all start with one annual round of giving. Now, y'all could be ambitious. Some of y'all are like, no, we want to give a month. We want to give a grant every month. Think about the more time that you have to fundraise for your members to give their contributions, the more you have at the end. Okay. So y'all can have a quarterly grant, grant cycle. You can have a annual grant cycle or annual one or a monthly one. It depends on you, but just consider that it's a lot of, the preparation, the amount of time that your members have to make that contribution. So if your circle is giving $1,000 annually and you're giving a quarterly grant, right? That's $250 a quarter for your members, right? Can they give that, right? So just it's some nuances and things, some dynamics to think about as it's related to your how often will you give grants and how often y'all will meet. And so using the example of a 25 member giving circle with an annual grant cycle, okay, this is kind of how y'all can deploy. You could do, and this is like assuming the green jelly beans are like the money in the pot. And then these like, what is this? This kind of light orange jelly beans is really like how you could deploy the resources. So you could, if you have $2,500, maybe y'all want to give a $2,000 unrestricted gift and do a $500 rapid response. Or if y'all have $10,000 to give, maybe you'll give two $5,000 grants. Or if y'all have $25,000, maybe y'all give 4 grants. Two $10,000 and two $2,500,000. Or maybe if y'all have $100,000, y'all can give 2 large grants for two $50,000. I'm giving y'all options with this in mind. This is where the budget of a nonprofit comes in. Let's just say if you were funding organizations like My Giving Circle, where we were funding when we first started, they had budgets less than $500,000. So actually, a $10,000 grant was good for those organizations, right? So for us, we were trying to think about what would be the most meaningful amount that we can give to an organization. But let's just say if you're funding organizations with $2 million budgets, a $2,500 grant probably is not going to go as long a long way, right? And so I think, oh, Nika, great. See ya. I think it's good for y'all as y'all are thinking about how the size of your grants and things, think about the budget size and the type of organizations that you're going to support. Because at the end of the day, we're trying to make impact, right? And so that's something to consider as it's related to your giving cycle and how much you would give out. And again, this is just options, y'all. I can go all day about this. Ty, should the co-leaders decide? Eric, you got a question? And Shelby had to go. Okay. Well, Ty, thank you so much. Yeah, for sure. Eric, you can
Hi.
pop in.
Hi, I just had a quick question. So I love this, all of this. So good. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Really excited about it. The thing that I'm finding when I started to talk to my friends and former colleagues and stuff about giving circles is people are like, oh yeah, I take care of that on my own. Like I have I get out my checkbook at Christmas time or end of the year and I write my checks and there was kind of an attitude of like, I don't want to talk about because it's about money.
Mm-hmm.
Weird, right? And
Right.
they're like, I take care of that. I don't need to share my giving with other people. So I'm just wondering, like, how do you as an obstacle that I'm finding. How do you get people to be like, I've talked about how great it is to do it together, about the shared values. But I'm just wondering if you've experienced that and you have any ideas.
That's a great question, friend. I People have different money stories. Money has done good, y'all, but it's also some harmful situation and experiences that people have had. In my experience, the more that we can softly talk about money and lift it up as a way and how, every amount matters in a collective space like giving circles. And so that's really that's the problem, Eric, kind of like with how philanthropy has engaged folks, because we like prioritize the big bucks and the people with a lot of dollars. And then so it makes everyday givers like us feel like, well, I only got like $100. That's not going to do anything. But it's all in how we frame that and bring them in. No, 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 Eric, your $100 actually, when you join a giving circle, we are trying to recruit. We're really trying to bring in so that we can give $100,000. So your $100 is no longer $100. It's actually at the end of if they're all members and we reach our goal, we'll have $100,000. And your $100 has a lot to do with that. It can help us to get there. And so I think this is about us acknowledging the people, their folks' capacity with where they are. That's one of the things I love about this model, because I have seen people like, oh my goodness, I just, just light up because now they are seeing they're part of a group and now they're able to support 20 organizations, and they weren't able to do that on their own. But that's the acknowledgement piece first of just the conversation, the softness of acknowledging, asking people, well, what have you given to in the past and how have those experiences been like, and what, right? Just talking. And I promise you, Eric, people, they will talk. Even
Mhm.
you will hear and hear them unpack those money stories. And then that's an opportunity for you to then be like, okay, and actually listen and then bring in this model as a way to kind of help heal that,
Mhm.
because this is a safe collaborative space. It's allowing us to safely pull resources together and talk about community issues, talk about some of the things we want to fund. And so I can talk all day with you around that, but I think that acknowledgement piece, understanding that every person money stories are very different, and framing our conversation around the amplified impact of this model and how your contributions do matter. They really do in this context, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to give that hunt. There's no way. I'm not a millionaire yet. So I don't have that capacity to give, but with the group, we can give a significant amount. And so I appreciate you lifting that up, and I can troubleshoot, and me and you can talk offline all day about other tactics, but that's some framing.
Thank you so much. That's really
Of
helpful.
course. What is this slide? Where was I at, y'all? Collectively goes further. Exactly, Katie. Exactly. Gigi, should the co-leaders decide this or the whole group? Um, all of these decisions, all of them. Remember those 8 decisions and even the canvas that I shared with y'all? This is all your co-leaders. Because y'all think about it, 25 members, that it's how I get anxiety at the thought of like, just hold on. There might be 2 voices and you'll dilute, like it's too loud. That's why we say 3 to 5 members, y'all get together, rather at each other's houses. Y'all have an ideation session, use that canvas, brainstorm together. Y'all keep it tight. But that diversity of y'all, those 3 to 5 co-leaders will help y'all get there. And then y'all go and recruit more, because then people are more likely to join when things is more baked than it's half baked. That's nothing more than like, well, tell me your thoughts. We're like, hey, girl, I just want to join. Tell me when I'm supposed to meet, how often I have to give, what I'm getting involved with. I don't want to build it, right? And so y'all are building this with your co-leaders. Does that make sense? All right, y'all. Where was I? Oh, about meetings real quick. Meetings in a giving circle work in this way, as it's related to like how y'all will find the nonprofits that y'all give to. Most giving circles go by a nomination process. So they start with their members first. And it doubles down as an engagement opportunity. So let's just say we got $10,000 in a pot. And so now we've pulled off resources, and then now we say to our members, all right, y'all, it's time for us to go. Yes, please do, Rebecca. See you later. It's time for us to now nominate. Y'all nominate. Let's first start with nominations. Nominate an organization that that you would like to receive the grant. And so the members can reach out directly to the nonprofit and say, hey, I'm a member of Heritage. We admire your work. You're so aligned with our values, our focus area. We'd like to invite you to apply, right? So that's a nomination process. Some giving circles have an open call, kind of like open grant applications. Um, and I'm okay with that, y'all, but just y'all just need to keep in mind the amount of money that you have to give. Does that make sense? So like if you only have a $15,000 grant and you do an open call and y'all bring in, you might get 100 applications, especially right now, because nonprofits are really looking for funds. How are y'all going to source and filter through 100 applications and you only have 15,000? So that's why we are advocates for, let's start in your first year nominations. Go by that helps to for the members to get involved, go out here and find nonprofits that they might not know about, right? And then once y'all come in, nominations are in, let's just say y'all have about 15 groups up for consideration. Then the group goes into what they call a consensus. Y'all talk about these orgs, y'all look at the applications, y'all would, basically vet them. Y'all are narrow it down. Y'all might use a Menti or some kind of polling, right? Virtual polling and say, all right, y'all, we had 25 groups that came in. We narrowed it down to 10. And so we've decided to give 5 grants. And so now it is voting time. This is a time for you to vote for your top 3 organizations or the top 5 of the 10 or whatever. There's a process for that dwindling down. But again, it all starts with the nominations. So think about that because you do have to pare it down so that y'all can line it up with what I went through earlier, which is like how many grants at the bottom. Y'all gonna give 2, you're gonna get 4, you want to get 5. You're gonna have to do all that kind of workshop mathing. And ideally, you'll be doing this with the group or whatnot. And so, all right, so we talked about nominations process of what happens, like, how y'all would find the orgs, how y'all would kind of decide on the orgs. I'm bringing this up only because I told y'all earlier that giving circles are a social collaborative experience. And so as we are thinking about all right, Ty, like when will we have those nomination meetings? When will we make those decisions? When will we give the grant away? So this is if you a circle that's meeting quarterly, 4 meetings a year, you will maybe your first meeting will be like, hey, bringing all the members together, right? Come together. This is what we're funding this year. This is bop, bop, bop. Here's our grant cycle. The next meeting will be like, all right, it's nomination time. Maybe the next meeting will be, all right, let's discuss these nominations and vote. The next meeting will be like, let's give this money out the door. Right? That's a simple group. 4 meetings a year, doable, y'all. All right. Well, then what about the group that's like, well, what about if we want to hang out with each other or hear from the experts? All right, well, let's think about that. 6 meetings, same thing. If you're a new giving circle, you'll have that mixer, pop, pop, pop. Maybe this is year 2 for you. So y'all will come in. Hey, y'all, great job. We're back for our second round. We're going to come together. This is what we're doing this year. Actually, we want to hear from this year. We're focusing on environmental justice. And so we're going to bring in our next meeting. We're going to actually bring in 3 organizations or 3 or 2 are expert to talk about environmental justice in North Texas. So it really helped us to learn more about this issue. And then, okay, now it's time for nominations. Now it's time for y'all to discuss the nominations and vote, get the money out the door. Well, what else? Here's our grantee partners. We gave 5 grants. Let's go volunteer with them, right? So this is a sample of like kind of how motion of a giving circle, the experience of a giving circle could look like. Now, this group, this is an actual giving circle, by the way. They are social butterflies. When they sent me this, I was like, this is y'all meet monthly? I love to see it, but this is an actual giving circle of an existing giving circle. They met, they redefine their priorities. They assess, debrief from last year, talked about what they're doing this year. And then they met at wine clubs, they had a book club, they had social hangs. It was very like to keep the group together. They were a elite, kind of like not elite, but a very active retired women's group. And so they needed more opportunities to connect because they retired and they were like, no, we want to be together more. So like they they incorporated social hangs, but y'all see the flow, right? Still the same thing. Hear from the experts, nomination, discuss, money out the door, sprinkled in with wine time, food time, book club time, whatever it looks like for your circle. Y'all see that? So this is it's fun. We have a lot of fun in giving circles. All right, these must be yes, you did. They were. They were. And then they came to me asking, well, did you what all activities should we? I am not finna build y'all social activities calendar, but I love that for y'all. Okay, we're actually on the last kind of two questions. We're on good time, and I'll have time for some Q&A. These are the last two questions, y'all. We got through it. Thank y'all so much for sticking with me. I know some of y'all had to drop off. How will the Giving Circle run and engage members? I kind of already talked about it a little bit, right? And then how will you share the story? Gigi, this goes back to your question of like, well, what's the importance of the members with the background in marketing? Well, yeah, how you tell the story, right? Um, how will you run and engage the members? When we say run, giving circles take a lot of work. I'm not even finna lie to y'all. Giving circles, we're volunteers. I have 5 kids. I work full time, right? And so the Giving Circle, you can't do this alone. So you know how nonprofits they have like committees and they have boards and stuff. A lot of Giving Circles operate and are run very similar. Now, I didn't go through it here for the time purposes, but when I follow up with y'all to send y'all the full toolkit, it'll show you like how y'all can structure the Giving Circle with like a grants committee and a programs committee. Like think about those 25 members, we're going to activate them and put them in groups so that you have one group that works on marketing and one group that operates the grant cycle and one group that organizes the social hangs, whatever it is, right? But that's how your giving circle can be run, is through the members. Do not try to do all this on your own. Then y'all be coming to me saying, I'm burnt out, Ty, just started. And I'm gonna say, I told you not to go alone. And so find your founding team, be thoughtful about that. Be very thoughtful about that. Seriously. You don't want to bring a founding member and then in a month or like, actually, I'm starting med school next week. Maybe they can join as a member, but not as a founding member. They're not going to have time for you, right? They're not going to answer your emails. So let's be realistic and think about who those founding members are that can help us to run and get the circle up and running. And then as we are thinking about engaging our members, think about going back to that 5T slide that I shared with y'all. Think about that. Think about the meetings, the 12 meetings, social hangs. Think about what would y'all like to do? And this is where you're thinking about your members. Eric, if you and your friends and y'all are into cycling, I'm just throwing it out. Um, that could be an engagement opportunity of like, thinking about an opportunity where y'all can lean into some of the things that y'all actually enjoy and like to do, and also have some intentional conversations around the giving circle. And so, as we are thinking about engagement, my best practice, y'all, is be realistic. It's 2025. All of us have competing, people are being pulled in so many different ways, but keep things simple, over communicate with folks, and provide very clear ways for them to engage, and they will. And try not to do something new. Engage in spaces and places. Like if your group, most of your members are on LinkedIn, start a LinkedIn group for the circle, right? Don't go on Slack. Why do Slack if your members are like, so you're gonna have to ask the members, all right, what's the best way we can communicate with y'all? Is it email, right? This is real, right? And so we're building community in a way. This is kind of helps y'all to kind of think through what I was talking about, the running of a giving circle. You can have rotating leaders, a lot of giving circle that are less formal. They're like, oh, they're just kind of like going with the flow. They just kind of rotate very casually, who can chime in and pop in. I couldn't run like that because I need a little bit more structure, and heritage is more, we're Black women professionals, so we're a little bit more structured. So we are actually in this piece. We have co-leaders and committees. We have a grants committee, we have a programs committee, and we have executive leadership committee. So that kind of, I'm showing y'all the ways and how you can run that's kind of less formal all the way to very more formal. So kind of in the middle is what I would encourage y'all to think about running. How you're going to run it in partnership and community with your co-leaders, and how you can activate other members into those kind of I'm not boards, it's so formal, the kind of committees to kind of keep the circle up and sustained. And then the more formal piece is like more so for like the community foundations, led giving circles and such. So I won't start there. I won't go with over that because that's more so for the like if there was a community foundation in here and how they will formally manage it. We even have membership activities. So again, y'all do not have to start from scratch with any of this stuff as you're thinking. The ladies that was like, can you build our activity schedule? I shared this. Uh, we have ways and opportunities that we are like, let us help y'all to kind of get your brains going on like uh, the activities your members can engage in that's fun, informative, and I'm gonna double down on the fun piece. Y'all please keep your giving circles fun. The moment that this feels like another business meeting, I promise you your engagement will drop off. People are looking for a community in a way that just meets them where they are and that's fun and brings joy to their lives and that's fulfilling. The moment that this feels like, okay, next order of business, like it just still, so strike that balance will be my opinion. Okay. You can still have structure, but have some fun. Um, Communications is very important in a giving circle. And this is that question. How will you share the story of your giving circle and connect to the movement? Um, I want y'all to think about two ways in communication with how you're going to be sharing out with the public, keeping people engaged, internal communications and external. You're going to have a way of communicating with your members. Remember what I said, like, okay, if y'all are a group of professionals, maybe they're already on LinkedIn. If they're more so, maybe Facebook is the way, maybe group me. I'm not for sure. Maybe a newsletter, maybe email. Think about how y'all are going to communicate with your circle members. The good thing about using a tool like Grapevine, that platform that I told y'all, is that it's like a Facebook group. And maybe if I have enough time, I can screen share and show y'all Grapevine. But it's like a Facebook, like you can make posts about it, but it's all the circle members in a group. So you can post up events, announcements, all of that. Facebook is a group, email listservs, but the most important thing is to choose a platform that everyone in your circle will use and respond to, period. And then the external, internal, you're also going to have to communicate with the groups that you're going to give to. So how will you notify these groups when your grant cycle opens? How are you going to talk to them? You're going to have a template, something ready to go, kind of that you can easily send out to folks. Create a clear process for who sends it out and when. And that all ties into your grant cycle. And hopefully you'll have a grants committee that can dictate that. And then last thing is think about externally. How are y'all going to continue to bring in members? Y'all recruiting new members, y'all welcoming new members. How you going to share that out? Y'all gonna have a little graphic that says, hey, y'all come join us. Join us, Mixer to come learn more about our circle. Y'all gonna have a newsletter. I don't know. But think about those communications in those three veins, internal all the way to external, with your members, your grantee partners, and with your external audiences. And we have email templates, as I've mentioned. We have so many resources. We've been around for 5 years, y'all. So we've had some time to create some resources from y'all that really makes sense. I promise you, you do not have to start from scratch. And speaking of Grapevine, this is the platform. So y'all it's literally grapevine.org. And these are some of the um, oh, thank you, Gigi. This is I know I'm talking fast, but I'm getting us through it. I'm gonna be quiet because I want to hear from y'all. But Grapevine is I really like Grapevine. I like Emily. She's the CEO. They started in the same year as Philanthropy Together. They've been around. They solely exist for giving circles. I think I love that about them because they don't serve any other groups, only giving circles. And they're free to use. People are like, how are they free? They do fundraising and all of that good stuff, and they rely on donations to make the platform free for y'all. So you never have to pay to join Grapevine. The only thing with them is that you can't fund individuals or like 504 organizations. They have to be 501c because their database is connected to the IRS database. That's the only restriction. So if y'all are thinking about granting to international organizations or advocacy, political candidates, individuals, that's not the platform. Let's think about another one. But does Grapevine serve countries? I know. Naomi, actually, That we just announced it, like literally like 3 weeks ago. They do through a partnership with Global Giving. Grapevine now serves only the UK. So they're kind of they're trying to expand what the groups that y'all are able to give to, but UK was the first. So girl, you were right on time. So if you want to use Grapevine. All right, y'all. We made it. Round of applause. We made it. Thank y'all so much for like sticking with me on like I know this training, it was a lot. I promise you, it was hard for me to pare this down from 90 minutes to 40 minutes. But I'm gonna share something with y'all, and which is the 5 steps, because I did talk to y'all a lot. I gave you so much information. But essentially, this is the 5 steps. Do not think about the purple jelly bean until we do the blue jelly bean. Okay. Don't let your mind wander. Baby steps, 1 step at a time, starting today. So after this, if you're like, Ty, what do I do? Okay, that was a lot. What do I do? Start with thinking about your founding member. Use that canvas that I gave you, and y'all work in that space of the blue and the yellow. Together with your founding team, y'all would finalize your vision, your values, work on that canvas. That's what that is, and stay there. Then, once you and your founding team have done that, I literally want y'all to get on my calendar. I'm going to drop a link. Y'all can save it for later. You don't have to do it right now. But just know that this is where I would like to, as your accountability buddy, your friend in this movement, all masterclass. I appreciate all that love. Let's meet. I can meet with you and your founding team members. Let's check in, see how y'all feeling, pop, 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 all the next step, and then we'll go through the next steps. But I want y'all to just like baby steps, 1 step at a time. This training is step one. Step two is think about your founding member. You have the canvas, and then thinking about, meeting with your founding team members. And I have a recruitment a template and an email template for you to reach out to those founding members, for y'all to work together to figure out member contributions, the name, all of the things that we kind of went through today. Does that make sense? But these are the 5 full steps. I promise you this one thing. Once the blue, the teal, once you put that circle out there, be ready. I hear this all the time. Folks are like, oh my goodness, there were so many people that came out. Like, people are longing to be in community. As y'all heard, people are looking for spaces that belong, to be connected with like-minded people more than ever. America wants us to be so divided on red, blue, all that kind of stuff, but our values can connect us. Our hearts can connect us. That's me, Taisha speaking, not from Philanthropy Together. But I truly believe that we're stronger together. We actually like each other way more than than the media tells us that we don't, basically trying to separate us on so many other stuff. I don't have to go there too much, but I hope y'all hear my heart of like this. The circle is an opportunity for us to build community and find our people. That's it. So once we put it out there, they will come. So that's why it's so important for us to get the framing, get the circle all together so that we're smooth sailing moving forward. And with that, I know some of our friends left, but I have a favor of you guys real quick. And then we're actually going to wrap this thing up. I need something from y'all. This was the first time ever that we've ever held like a 45-minute training and put this training in Launchpad and all of that. I'm always open to feedback. I facilitate this training. It's called Launchpad For You. It's a free training that Philanthropy Together offers every single month. I facilitate this training. And in real time, I make tweaks, adjustments, I add slides, I remove things based off feedback that y'all gave me. So could y'all take like a minute just to like complete that? Just take a hang tight. And then I'm going to pull up a few more other resources and then check in and make sure that we're good to go back or not. But if y'all can just take 1 minute to do that for me, I would greatly appreciate y'all's support. And then let me make sure our groups, we're 28. Okay. All right, we're right on time. Okay, yeah. Thank you so much for the love. I really appreciate y'all so much. It's always good to like, head nods or questions or whatnot, so I'm not feeling like I'm in a room with bots. So thank y'all for that. While y'all fill out that survey, I'm just gonna just share just a few more other things before we head back into the room. I do one-on-one coachings all the time. Y'all have a link. You can save it. You can schedule as many meetings as you want. I would love to meet with you one-on-one. This is kind of high level, but we got to get specific about what you want to do, about your specific vision. And I would love to brainstorm with you. So schedule that one-on-one with me whenever you want. We also host monthly group coaching. So once you go through the training and such, and y'all ever want to just pop in to be in community with other people who are on this similar journey, our next group coach, why did I misspell May? Please forgive me. I was tired. May 20th at 2 p.m. is the next group coaching, and we host that every month. And all of this stuff is at philanthropytogether.com. That resource library that I told y'all about that has templates from welcome packets for your new members, checklists, all that stuff. It took us months to create that resource library. So please use it and the resources that are there. And then once y'all start your giving circle, I'm going to plug this in for later, not for now. Join a network. There are networks of giving circles, whether you're a faith-based giving circle, a women's focused giving circle, a broad audience, a race ethnicity focused giving circle. The power of the networks, they will help you get your circle out there. They help you with funds. Some of them give funds, matching contributions. So think about joining a giving circle network once your giving circle is up and launched. And then here's my surprise for y'all. I'm so honored and so happy to announce that y'all gonna get $1,000. If you start a giving circle, y'all, you are eligible for Philanthropy Together to give you $1,000 to start. Just by you completing this training today, y'all already have $1,000 in your bag. On top of, for your first 10 members, we're gonna give you $250 for every member up to 10 members. So now y'all have $3,500 to start this giving circle with 10 members. Incentive, y'all. Woo! We didn't have this 4 years ago, but thank goodness. Shout out to Fidelity Charitable for this generous grant that they gave us. We pushed. We need to incentivize people now more than ever. And a little money can kind of help y'all to kind of, put some money in the pot so y'all can have money for the food and for the first meeting and all the things that you need to get your circle started. $3,500 is good. So, and then if you, after this training, you're like, oh my goodness, this is too much. I don't want to start a giving circle. Can I join one? Yes. We have a global giving circle directory at philanthropytogether.org. And if you join a giving circle, we'll give you $250 to give to your circle. So we're trying to support giving circles or help you to start one through this giving circle catalyzer program that we just announced last week. That's it, y'all. My contact information, my cell phone is there. I'm a texter. So if y'all want to text, shoot me a text, send me an email, connect with me on a one-on-one, all the things. And I appreciate y'all doing a survey and all the things. I think that we are going to head back just for like 1 minute